Uranium friends, been a while. Let's check in on the sector and see if this price action, this bounce, is different than anything we have seen in the past, I don't know, year or so, right? So let's just see. All right, so these are the ETFs, right? We topped out October 20. So let's just see if this is any different. This recent price action is any different. So we've got our ETFs here: URA, URNM, URNJ, and Nukz. So we'll start it off with just a little bird's eye view of all these guys at once and see if there's anything that looks different or special about this particular bounce. So moving average rise is a daily charts, by the way. Moving average rise on the way down, bounces, all bounces, getting sold into on these moving out on this 50 EMA, 50 SMA, right? That's what these doubles are for all of them. So in that respect, no change. All right, so that's little thing number one, right? Let's zoom into URA on its own because to me that's the actual true gauge of the sector. I know that people don't necessarily agree with that, but so we have a good bounce, right? And I talked about it a little bit on Twitter or X, whatever you want. So yeah, I can see a trend line here. I'll draw it for you in case you don't know. If you just can't see it, I'll give you the visual. All right, so that's a pretty good trend line, and it's testing it now. We'll see what it looks like. Inside day on Friday. When all of this occurred, when this breakout occurred, by the way, I did tweet it. I forget who I was responding to or whatever I was saying. Said it was a pretty good look that it got through this sell pressure, right? So this is sell pressure. All these upper wicks. That's traders or positioning guys. Maybe they bought half here. They want to sell up half up here to keep their stop break even or very low risk. So it had some sell pressure there, but it held the 12 EMA and it's on its ride. So now we're contending with what I would say a confluence of resistance right now. So we have this little immediate trend line, and we also have these moving averages. Now, the good thing is the last 2 days, Thursday and Friday, got above the 50-day moving average. This is the pink one, and it held. And the gold is the 50 EMA. So it held those two 50-day averages, which is a pretty good look, right? We've got this pending cross with the 12.26 right here, but we had all that too. So there's positive signs here, obviously, right? So, but there's also stuff that just says, okay, we're just still running into resistance. The good thing I like is that it built a little base here and fought some sell pressure. I like that part. All right, this is a significant level here. This what 23, right? So let's just say it's 23. Good volume profile. It also has interactions over here with that level. So, and I believe I tweeted again. I said ideally I'd like to see this pull back to the 22, 23 area, set up this possible daily inverse head and shoulders look, right? Come back up into this neckline, which it's pretty much doing now. Get a back test into that area. And maybe perhaps give us a chance at a look of a reversal, right? So for this to hold true, and would make some sense, right? Because we have a gap here. Maybe it comes back down, revisits, closes up this gap, or gets in there. It's all where these EMAs are. Makes its bounce, takes out this neckline resistance, simultaneously taking out this trend line resistance, simultaneously taking out these moving averages, and we're good to go. That's a possibility. It only speaks to possibilities. The good thing is that for me, for traders, for someone who's looking to take a bullish stance on this right now, there's a great level to work off of right here. Or even if we want to, you know, loosen up our risk a little bit, you have another level here. So that's the look that URA has, which it helps the sector in general to have that same look, right? So I do like this bounce. It does look different than this bounce. It kind of looks the same as this bounce, right? Uh, built this bounce. I mean, here's a lesson in price action 101, right? So you can see it as clear as day. So it starts building a base here. This is a tangent, by the way. It starts building a base here, right? Gets up. It's set its resistance. It's got its support. It's got its range. It gets up through there, and it starts to have a little follow through, right? But then it gets smacked down. So warning sign number one on this, right? Because it couldn't hold its breakout. What does it do? It revisits this level again, okay, where there were buyers again, as I would be a buyer here. It's a very low risk play, right? Just fails again, and then revisits this level, and then boom, wipes out all the stops. That's just a bunch of low risk plays, stops getting hit here, and that's what accelerates this volume into the sell off. So we've absorbed that giant stop hunt, and we're making a move again on URA. So this 22 to 23 area is going to end up being pretty important, in my opinion, just based upon some of the technical setups and trend lines and moving averages and whatnot, right? And a couple key levels. So, bulls have levels to work off of here, right? So it's built some structure. This 22, 23 area probably has significance even on the weekly. So if you can see my line coming across, it's all through here. So it's a significant level. It makes sense that we'd be chopping around in here. It's very, very obvious that we just don't want to lose about 17 or 18 bucks on this name. And it will indicate the sector's in a lot of trouble, but not bad on this look for URA at the moment. Okay, so there's actionable plays for bears right now. There's actionable plays for bulls. You just have to see where the battle ends up resolving itself. My best guess, and it's not a prediction, is this pullback, is this gap fill, or at least some sort of right shoulder setup. Maybe the gap fill will get front run, and then hopefully work on taking out that resistance. Now, we do have to be aware of this, right? So Netanyahu says Israel will destroy Iran's nuclear reactors and enrichment facilities. So this could be a huge drawdown catalyst for the sector. So we have to pay attention to those things. So technical analysis does not, nothing's going to, this looks good. It's a good look. That news can destroy the entire thing, right? So it could destroy this setup for bulls. So we have to wait and see. URNM, I'm not going to get crazy with it. URA is a good gauge, but it's a very similar look, right? And it could do the same exact thing. It's really a very similar look, even with this attacking of these 50 moving averages, the EMA and DMA. So gaps below, possible gap fills, moving average support, volume profile support, possible daily inverse head and shoulders. That's absolutely, Urnm looks just like URA in that respect. So does Urnj, right? So the setup for Urnm and Urnj is pretty much the same as URA. It does make some sense, right? So Nukz, let's see what this thing looks like. Is it any different? Slightly, but not really, right? The same type of deal. I mean, one could contend that this inverse head and shoulders look. I mean, maybe. I think I'm stretching there. Probably not. So it's probably it still looks very similar to URA as well, and it's probably going to need that. So it's all going to be dependent. If that news that I just showed is anything, just take these setups in this entire video and throw it in the garbage, because it's gonna be no bueno. But of course, those URA puts insurance policy that I've posted about for the past 2 years, those will work for me in that scenario. So it's, catch 22, whatever. So that's the setup there. I want to look at the futures here, UX1, because there's a change, right? So, and we could point to this not being changed, but now we've had this massive monthly stair step all the way down since February of 2024, right? A little bit of an anomaly right here. This was a little pivot right here, but the setup is happening again where well, the monthly stair step is gone, right? So it broke it to the upside, which is, step number one for being a good deal and a possible keeping eyes out for reversals in the sector, right? So as much as everyone wants to talk about their fundamental gurus and saying spot doesn't mean anything, well, it sure does. And it just proved it over the past year and a half. So that's the deal. So, this first I was speaking about this multiple times. I said, "Hey, this could just be a back test of this breakout from 2011." Well, it back tested it, and there was no bounce. So the technical analyst can once again say, "Well, it's really just a back test of this breakout area," and they would be right in that sense, right? So it's just a matter of how does it now react. We can see this monthly 50 EMA. It is your support. It's been your support since April of 2020. So it's a key metric, and if you followed my work and watched any of my videos, I've said this so many times. When these moving averages get stretched up, they want to reconcile and bunch up again and act as support. It's just kind of like a reversion to the mean type of deal. So we're seeing that here in uranium futures. We're seeing that, and maybe that's not done. Maybe they need to really bunch up. Like all of this stuff just bunching up. Stretch, bunch up, bunch up. So we'll see. But this is one heck of a stretched out push. And yes, there were plenty of people saying, don't listen to the technical analysts. We're fundamental guys. We know it's not going to, the force is going to be 100. Well, they were just flat out, plain and simple wrong. Let's hope that what these guys are saying now is right. So let's hope that this is the bounce. On the weekly, again, this is just keeps going down, 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 down. But this bottom is different than any of this. Well, this was actually a pretty good base too, right? So this is a good base, and it's a fail, right? So are we going to get the same deal here? Time will tell. But nice. Once again, it's building a base. But again, you could say, oh, okay, well, did it here too, and you'd be right. So it's just the base alone isn't going to help us. So it does what we do want to happen is the first move is that we want to get over the 50-day moving average. We've done it. We've closed above it. Now we want to get over this 12 EMA. So I would assume, I would guess, I would expect that if we do get a decent bounce going, the 72 to 73 area, my guess would be that there'd be some stalling or a rejection there. So we'll see as time goes on. Let's look at these two proxies, fund proxies. Weekly falling wedge on SRUUF. I could probably draw this a little bit better. I could even do something like that. Yeah, I like it. I like that. And I probably like kind of like it here. Yeah. So weekly falling wedge, it is breaking bull. That's another good. That's a check mark in the bull's favor. But we're still contending with these with the moving average stack, and this uranium and commodities in general, they love this weekly 12 EMA coupled with the 50-day moving average as their ride, right? So, and again, if you watch my videos, you probably heard me say this 1,000 times. It's just a ride. Look at the ride, the pink and the red line. That's all we care about, right? Pink and red line ride, 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 ride. That's riding. It's been riding it down. It's been riding it down, still riding it down. Here's the spot where it's trying to maybe get over it. So there's nothing concrete about saying, hey, this is it. This is the bottom. But we can see signs of attempts at reversals here, right? So weekly higher low, oversold conditions, breaking bull out of the falling wedge, closing above the 50-day moving average and 12 EMA on the weekly as the ride. So maybe it is breaking this ride. It's going to be a little while for us to know. And then it'll be a little while for us to get it back to being a bullish ride. So, maybe you can catch bottoms here. You can try to catch bottoms and stay low risk, and you're going to be great. But those who are patient can literally wait for this trend, a trend like this. The patient bears waited for the trend and they got it, and they're doing well. U.UN is probably going to look very similar. It is the mother exchange. Maybe we can glean something a little bit different here. So purple line, which tells me that it's an important level, probably a lifetime level. Yep, it's a lifetime level for U.UN. Bounced off of it, right? So rejections, all sorts of rejections, support, a little bit support, rejection, bounced off of it again. So 18, 19 bucks, it's an important level through the life of that name, and it's bounced here. It has also, let me get rid of this stupid white thing. I don't even know what that's from. So the weekly is still has to contend with this ride. The futures look a little bit better in that regard, and that would make some sense, right? This should lag the futures a little bit. So, but it looks okay. So, I mean, there's signs. There's plays for both bulls and bears right now in the space, but there's signs of a reversal. There's nothing concrete, and I'm not saying that this is the reversal at all. Uh, but I am aware of this, and I am aware that this could be a problem. All right, so we will see. Time will tell. Over and out.